Where does the American dream come from?
Well, I had no idea, and it's funny, people just use this phrase so promiscuously and freely, and as we've heard from your listeners, everyone's got a different definition of it. So I thought, let's go to the source. And I was surprised to learn that this is a relatively recent coinage. It was only in the last Great Depression, 1931, that a historian named James Truslow Adams wrote a book called The Epic of America.
A badly reviewed book.
A badly reviewed book, and it's kind of a weird, subjective history of the United States. But the one very interesting thing he did was say, I'm going to get to the point of, what is it that makes the United States unique? And he came up with this concept called the American Dream. It was about possibility and opportunity, whether you were rich or whether you were poor, a level of opportunity and possibility that no other country offers.
One of the things that really struck me about your article was the pictures. So you've got this, prototypical white suburban family, and they're actually quite gorgeous, 50s living room. Who participated in what we think of as the American dream, and who was left out?
Well, if we look at those pictures, what they were from Life magazine, and they were actually art directed by Norman Rockwell. And they are this sort of slightly antiseptic, idealized version of mid-century suburban life. A lot of what you're seeing is sort of the idealized life that, returning GIs took on in the mid-century when, the first moment of the baby boom and economic prosperity. And it was a very white bread vision. The American dream, up until the post-war period, didn't really have a specific material component to it. It was more an abstract ideal than a specific one. And Bill Levitt was this guy who came from a building family. He worked in the Pacific Theater building airfields very quickly, and he applied this know-how when he got back to these potato fields he'd bought in Long Island and decided to build suburban tract homes. And the GI Bill enabled returning GIs to buy homes for low-interest loans, no money down.
Especially white families, though.
Especially, there were no black families allowed in Levittown. Taking on debt, to expand and pursue your dreams, whether it's opening a business or buying a home, getting a home loan, is not in and of itself a bad thing. It really only accelerated into kookiness really in the last 2 decades or so. I think we have to get away from this ridiculous idea that each generation must outpace and outlive standard of living wise the next. And the phrase I say is, let's consider the idea of simple continuity, the perpetuation of a contented, sustainable, middle-class way of life where the standard of living remains happily constant from one generation to the next.
I didn't get to ask you, what's your American dream?
My American dream is to be on the takeaway.
Not working for Condé Nast?
Not working for Condé Nast. It's to be in public radio with thoughtful people like you.
Oh, that's very sweet. Of all the pictures in your article, and Fry talked about how great they were, which one did you want to be in mostly?
The one with the closing up of the summer house. And the modesty of scale appealed to me, though. You notice it's not a McMansion, that it's a little house. It's not too much house. It's not something that's going to have a hewn...
front of the A.
Oh.
And for me, it's always crazy to something to take away. It was the swimming hole. That was the one that I love. Take care, David.
Swim in hole.